Good morning, Pops. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to be getting into today, but first thing I'm starting off with is heading up here to the greenhouses. Hard to believe, but we're already starting to get orders around for that season. That's honestly not too far away. We're almost at the midway point of December, and by like the first, second week of February, we'll probably be starting to seed here in the greenhouse, but we have a lot of work to do before that. We've pretty well got the greenhouses cleaned up, thanks to Eric and Marcus and Francisco. They were really bad. Now what we got to do is sanitize our flats. We'll sanitize all the tables, the floors. But before we even get into that, because that's not really a big concern right now, figure out what kind of plants, how many more flats we need, pots, all that kind of stuff, dirt. And I don't see our book in here. I guess it's not here. It might be over here in this shed. We put this roof on last spring. So far it's holding up really well. Maybe this spring we'll get the whole shed painted. But as far as I can see, the roof is holding up very well. Oh boy. Oh, in here. It should be in here. Green book. Not there. Okay, so I'm not 100% sure where the book is that has all of my seeding from the 2024 season, but hopefully my mom has it up at the house or something like that. She's trying to figure out our kind of a little bit of a dilemma for begonias. Every year we get begonias just by the seed, and then we start to seed them in our greenhouse. But the problem with them is that they take forever, and I mean forever, to grow. It takes like months to get them up like an inch. And so what we decided to do this year, which is what our sales rep told us a lot of other greenhouse growers do, is to get them in plugs. And so we're trying to figure out how many we need to order in, because usually we just order the pack of seeds or a couple packs of seeds of different varieties, and you know, we plant them into the soil. If you've seen my last video, you'll know that we kind of forgot to drain these water tanks out. Well, the one on the right, the bigger, newer one, was already drained, but the left one here, the blue one, was not completely drained, and then they really froze. Wasn't a ton of water in them, but we're hoping it didn't crack the valve or anything like that. And so I tipped it up yesterday when it was like 40 degrees to let it drain, and I think it drained really well. I don't see much in there at all, which is good. That's what's kind of nice about this wagon. Now mom wants me to come over here to the storage because she's working out at the farm market. She can't do any of this stuff herself because she just doesn't have the time. And she wants me to get easels for like the wreaths. I think that's what they're for. Or maybe swags, I'm not 100% positive. Supposedly they're in our storage. They should be in there, but while I'm all the way over here, I might as well go check out the garlic. Just because, why not? It's been pretty cold, so I don't expect to see the green sprouting out of the ground, which, like I always say, is what we don't want anyway, but I'm gonna check it out. The weather has just been absolutely crazy. Can't figure it out. We were getting like 40, like between 35 and 50 degree temps pretty regularly like a month ago. Then we got a really cold spell where we weren't really getting above like 35, getting down to like in the teens at night. And now for some reason, like this 3-day span we're having right now is supposed to get up to almost the 60s, and then it's gonna shoot back down to like a high of 35 again. So can't really figure it out. But anyway, I don't see any green garlic tips, which is kind of good. But if you go back, I'm not even sure what video it was, probably like 5 or 6 videos now, I dug up one of the garlic bulbs or toes, and you could see how much it was sprouted. It was actually kind of crazy. I don't want to do it now just because it's extremely muddy, and I don't know what this one is. Well, here, this one isn't bad. I'll show you this one. This must have pushed out of the ground for some reason. Look at the roots growing on that guy. And that's exactly what you want. This is what it's gonna do before you see that green sprout coming out of the ground. It's gonna set its roots. That way it can be established for winter. And then in the spring is when that green top should shoot out, and then all that other good stuff will come. And that reason right there, which I just showed you, is kind of why it's important to get them deep enough, but not too deep. Because what happens with the freezing and thawing it pushes that garlic up out. And if it's not in deep enough, it's gonna push it all the way out of the ground and your garlic is not gonna form properly. We've had that happen other years, like kind of straight down the row, which is kind of scary. We didn't lose the garlic, but like I said, it just didn't seem like it was quite right. Like it didn't form quite right. Didn't get quite the size that we were hoping for, but it will be okay. So don't like worry or freak out if that starts happening in your garden. Now mom just called and said she needs some cabbage out of our cooler. So I'm gonna go up here in the blue shed and grab that. As you can see, all of our trucks are still out. We're gonna hopefully be putting this guy in just because it's the newest and we hate to see it out in the weather. We don't really care as much right now, but when it starts to snow, we don't want all that snow like going in the reefer and then birds make nests, stuff like that. So it'll be good to get that in. The yellow van is getting pretty old. I think that has got over 300,000 miles, like 350,000, something like that. And it's a gas. It's treated us really well, had it for a long time. It's went to Scranton and back. I don't even know how many times, but if we don't have the room, we're not as concerned about putting that in just because, like I said, it's not as new. And I don't want to say we're not really worried about it, but we're more worried about the big one. And the blue van, well, this guy hasn't ran in a year. It ran when we parked it, and then we wanted to sell it, but then we couldn't get it started, and we thought, well, let's get it running before we sell it. But now we can't. We think it might be the fuel pump, I think my dad and brother were saying, but I'm not 100% positive. The back door, obviously, isn't the best. That could easily be replaced. But the tires were basically brand new. And obviously it's old. I mean, you can just tell that. I don't know what year it is, but it could get some use if somebody was a little bit handy with, you know, getting it working. So we'll see what happens with that. But it's just not good to let equipment or vehicles, anything like that, sit, because this is what happens. The longer it sits, the more problems that occur, and the time goes by, and then eventually it just sits there and rots. So hopefully we can get that sold and somebody gets some use out of it before, you know, it doesn't run at all, ever. One of you guys left a comment asking about how the deer season was going, and I did end up getting a buck. First time I got a buck in 2 years. I was actually on quite the drive streak, but got a real nice one. Not a monster, had like an 18.5-inch spread. The only problem was it just didn't have real high tines. Probably the highest tine was like 5-6 inches, 8 point. I'm real happy with it. So in the shed here, Dad is doing some maintenance. This Kubota gets used so hard. Again, this is another piece of equipment that has lasted us a long time, treated us really well, but you know, you got to keep up on it or it's not gonna last. So I think he was cleaning air filters. I don't know if he was changing the oil. The battery actually just went on us, so we got to get a new battery for it, put that in there. Just general maintenance. Hopefully it's gonna get us through another season. But honestly, if it didn't, we can't even complain, because like I said, it gets used every day in the summertime and a lot in the winter. Hauling bins and bins and bins, or just baskets, whatever. Hauling trailers, back and forth, back and forth. And it's been a champ. In the cooler is our cabbage. If you go back probably 4 videos ago, you'll see Sammy and I harvesting one of these bins. This is every single head of cabbage left that we had in the field. So you've got some really, really tiny ones. You've also got some medium sized, not a lot of real large, but that's okay because people really don't want real big heads this time of year anyway. So mom wants 5 crates. I'm gonna haul them out to the market for her. And then of course we always save a little bit for ourselves. Like this is our own garlic we're saving. Obviously it's all our own, but we're saving this garlic for ourselves just for home use. And then we save a crate of onions as well for our own home use. And then over here, this is what we have left to sell at our farm market, which is a basket and a half of garlic, a couple spaghetti squash, and I think, or not spaghetti, a couple orange Hubbard, and then spaghetti squash are over there. I think there's like 2 or 3 crates of those. So I've said it before and I'm definitely gonna say it again. We just are so thankful that you guys came and supported us, whether it's watching our YouTube channel, whether it's coming to Scranton, coming to Wilkes-Barre, coming to our home farm market. You know, it's just great in every way, shape, and form. We had so much produce and to literally have this little bit left. Obviously there was some loss in the field. There always is. You can't get every single pepper picked, but to sell the amount that we did and have such little loss that we did is just really incredible. So again, we just really appreciate it and we thank you. My mom was actually saying she would like us to take the whole bin out to the farm market. Big believer in stack it high, watch it fly. So if people come out to there and they see an entire bin like this full of cabbage, they're gonna be like, wow, you know, I'm sure we're gonna sell for a good deal. They're gonna say, wow, good deal, what can we make with cabbage? And it just goes from there. So, well, I'm gonna take out 3 or 4 crates now, which will probably be, I don't know, somewhere around, there's 3, 6, probably around 30, 40 heads, which is honestly barely gonna put a dent in this bin. One more thing I gotta do quick is feed the cows. Cows are happy. Now I can finally head to the farm market. So I ran that stuff out to the farm market. Now I'm back because I noticed we needed bags of potatoes. Not gonna do any 50 pounders. We're done with them for the season, but I'm gonna be working on some 10 pounders. If you've been following along with the videos, I know I say this a lot, but you'll know that this was almost back here to the door with bins. Now, we didn't have near as many bins this year as we normally do, but we're going down very rapidly. This bin is actually done, just small ones. This is our last bin of red, which is halfway gone, as you can see. And then we have 1 bin of white, which isn't even full anymore. Right here is the 10-pound bags. Little and cute, got 1 little sight window. Then on the front just says 10 pounds, or it should, yeah, right there. Mom said she would like me to do 4 white, 3 red. I'm only gonna put the bigger, medium to big in, like something like this. I'm not gonna put that in. Probably this size and up is what I'm gonna put it in. Not a huge size difference, but people don't seem to like smaller ones unless like they specifically want a whole bag of small ones, so we try not to do that. And then obviously I'll look over them to make sure there's no bad. So because we don't have electricity down here in our potato storage, we just manually tie them with these metal tires and the twister. And so I weighed these all, they are all just a little bit over 10 pound. Now, I don't really go as much off of 10 pound as much as making the bag look good and full. So like they've always got at least 10 pounds, but most of the time they're over a little bit. So I always keep, like right here, 2 white and 2 red, just in case I need to fill in an empty pocket somewhere. So all I'll do is crunch it like that. Now this one isn't gonna quite close, it's just too many potatoes. So then I'll take out just maybe 1 or 2. So that looks pretty good right there. So now I'll take my twister, wrap it around, and then I'll take my tie, wrap it around, take my twister, and then twist it until it's nice and tight. And that is it right there. I kind of like more of the fluffier look on top instead of like pinched and ugly. So I'll put that over here, move on to the next one. That one looks good to go. Again, take my tire, wrap it around. You've probably seen me do it before with the bag sewer, which honestly I think looks a little bit nicer, but we don't have that option. I was gonna take the bags of potatoes out to the market and then head downtown to get my flat tire fixed. But my dad seen me, heard that I was going down to get that fixed, and was like, hey, the sprayer tire is bad or has a flat. Could you take that down as well to get fixed? So I came over here now to the sprayer, and as you can see, the tire's flat. So I'm gonna get this off of here, throw this in the back of my truck as well, drop the potatoes off, and then go get these fixed, or at least drop them off to get fixed. Like I said, my brother's a mechanic at Bloom Chevy, so he's gonna do it for us. turning. Well, that should be good enough. Now she just gotta come off. Oh, wow. Usually things don't go that good for me. All right, so cleaned up, getting out of here. Went really well, actually. Now, just gotta get it fixed and get it back here. I would love to fix this truck up. I have never physically seen it running. It wasn't that long before me that it was, and it's been sitting underneath cover. It is sunk in the ground a little bit here, but not bad. Obviously, it's got rust spots, but for the most part, I think it's pretty solid. I just put my tools in here. Seat's a little ripped. Some mouse turds, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, if you think it'd be a cool project to get this guy running. If enough of you guys say yes, I might try and tackle it. I don't know anything about him, but I could definitely learn my way. So I'm back from town, dropped my tire off and the sprayer tire off. My brother's gonna get them fixed, hopefully. Then I went to Tractor Supply and picked up a tire for the little black trailer that we always put bins on and pull with the Kubota. And then yesterday, Dad picked up a new battery for the Kubota. So it's nice, he's already got this compartment cleared out, cleaned. I'm gonna put this in, strap it down, and hopefully she should be running like new again. I don't know why, but in my brain, it always seems like the black should be positive. I don't know why, but it's just the way my brain wants to work. Let the glow plugs heat up a little bit. She's strong. It started to rain, so I just decided to not video it. Got that tire put on the wagon, and that's all done now. So as far as the jobs I wanted to get done today, they're all completed.